Hello, hello. Welcome to New York session here today. Um, what's this? Oh, good morning, everybody. It is the 8th of May, and we have NFP today. 8th of May, and we have NFP today. Looks like GPJPY here is dropping down from a 4-hour resistance. Price tapped into it. I think this was the level we identified yesterday. Who's this? Someone's calling me on Instagram. Wow. We don't accept calls on Instagram, that's for sure. Um, oh, what the hell is this? Hey, what's up? This guy called me to find my live stream, bro. Just refresh the page. I don't know, it's there, man. Good luck.
Lit
We're
Mobile
live right
popped
now.
over this wireless battery bank for an unboxing. Let's check this thing out and see what we got inside. This thing is solid. It's got nice grips on the side. It's shock battery bank for an
Some guy. Yeah, we get around like 300 people, 200 people like in the first minute every morning. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're waiting for NFP here today. Gold was actually coming up. So when gold was coming up, this is what I talked about yesterday too, that if gold starts rallying, you can say that, okay, you know what, NFP is priced in because, they're expecting really bad numbers. Um, what's this here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. I'm surprised you trade during NFP. I think your analysis is really, really wrong there. I'm not trading on NFP. I'm not. I'm not trading. I don't know how people can come up with these assumptions. You know. I mean, we're just doing analysis. So let's do this, right? So this is a level we talked about yesterday in the Asian session. That once we break this level, price is going to head off to 850. We went off to 850, filled the daily wick, came down. Price created a support, and then again, price created another support, and then we had this breakdown, right? So whenever price breaks a support, it makes a new low. So now basically, GJ just made a new low, and for GJ to continue down, if you think GJ is going to continue down, it has to come up over here, create like a minor resistance, and then continue down. So that's something to look out for. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, gold, man. Gold is at a very strong resistance here. This is a really strong resistance here now. So we'll have to wait and see what NFP brings. I'm not going to trade NFP. If people are here, they're trying to trade NFP and like maybe make back their losses. Trust me, it's not happening. So oh, plus we have a very special guest coming here today at 9 a.m. Eastern in about 2.5 hours. Extremely special guest. No one knows who the guest is, so just don't even attempt to guess because guessing games are not going to work. Um, so on Fridays, normally what we do is on Fridays we provide support, right? We provide support to your trades. If you're in a bad trade, we provide support for your bad trades. If you're in deep drawdowns, we provide support for your deep drawdowns. So yeah, so people are guessing 6-9. You know what? I wish if 6-9 came here, that'll be. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of 6-9. He's gonna go live today at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm not missing that. Astro Effects, no, they will never come on here. I don't know. I'm blocked. They've blocked me. Q Banks. We had Q Banks here once. We had yeah, not the lady from the moon. Can we still enter GJ for a selling? Well, if you enter GJ now for a sell, your stop is going to be somewhere up over here. It's going to be like 16 pips because this is a breakout candle, right? So your stop is going to be above the breakout candle, above the high of the breakout candle. That's where your stop is going to be. But I think to have a better, like if you have entered from like, let's say 131, 640, 131, 630, then you're good. Your stop is like up over here. It's not too bad. It's like 10 pips. You're expecting price to continue down. But if you haven't entered, then you're looking for price to maybe form like a minor resistance, because it broke this support on the 30 minute. I think it's on the 1 hour too. Yeah, pretty nice support on the 1 hour too. Broke and then, it needs to do like a retest and then continue down. So you have to take care of that. Um, it's a bank holiday in UK today, so the market's going to be slow. Yes, that's true. That's exactly true. That's why we worked out a deal with the guest to come on here because there's like you have French holiday, you have the GBP holiday, but the euro, well, euro is also closed half of it, but the like we got these NFP numbers coming up. We got CAD NFP numbers, man. USD CAD and USD. They're going to be thrown in a wrench today. I mean, they're expecting 20 million, 22 million. Oh, it was 20 million. Now they changed it to 22 million. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Honestly, I doubt it will move the market because everyone is expecting the forecast to be correct. Yeah, that's true. That's something we were talking about yesterday too, because like the whole world knows that like what they're trying to do is like the numbers are going to be bad. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that affects things because everyone knows if the numbers are bad, gold should continue going up. But I mean, gold didn't really move up a lot. So it doesn't tell me that it was priced in. That's the whole issue. Maybe we see a fall down to 1714 into this liquidity area and then continue going up later. I mean, who knows? Hey, Rakeel, love what you do, mate. Can you give me your thoughts on my odd trade? Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at this trade. This is AUD USD. Stop is down over here. Entry is over here. Take 50% over here, and then target is up over here. On the 30-minute chart, candle closed bullish. You're expecting this one to continue moving bullish. Yep, looks good. It looks good. The only thing I have against the USD pairs today is that we have, like there's some very high volatile news. So USD pairs might do something off. They might not move as you expect it to move. So that's why I would just tell everyone to be careful when you're trading the USD pairs. Ooh, Dylan sent a chart. Oh, nice. Dylan has a sell on GJ, heading down. You have a stop loss up over there. Beautiful. Let's see what happens. Good morning. Can you see this? Give me your thoughts. Yes, we can see this. Let's take a look here. Oh, nice. Someone else has the same cells here. We'll close 80% position here, let it run, managing risk and managing trade and risk. Nice. Okay, perfect. I wish you all the luck. Good luck, whoever's in cells on GJ. I wish you all good luck. Did you notice GJ's retest after breaking a support that was high, broken for moving down? Yeah, I mean, if it's broken support, it's made a new low, so it needs to make like a minor resistance to continue down. That's like the basic theory behind this technical analysis. Like the basic foundations of technicals is like whenever resistances are broken or supports are broken, it always does a retest. What time is the guest coming on? Chirag Patel, I think you should just close the stream and you should just go about your day. It's gonna be this is hilarious, man. What time? All right, let's take a look at this chart. USD CAD 30 minute. Price made a lower high in a downtrend. Price broke through previous resistance. If bullish, may fail highlighted wick. Highlighted wick. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty difficult because you see USD CAD is in a range. This is like in a range here. This is a bad range, and the only reason it's in a range is because you have really high volatile news for the CAD and the dollar. So it's going to be very difficult for it to move. So you have to keep those things in mind. I mean, it's just simple logic, right? Like if you see there's a storm coming, look at this. If you see there's a storm coming on USD and CAD, you'd want to stay away from USD CAD. I mean, that's like the basic thing, right? Like if you live out in the country and if you see there's a storm on its way, man, you're gonna go hide for cover. You're not gonna stand outside. So that's what I gotta say for USD CAD. I traded via 70 trades, but when I applied for it, they disappeared. I guess someone's broker disappeared when they asked for withdrawal. Interesting. All right, someone's in a trade and they think they will most likely get stopped out. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, the good thing is that you have your stops at break even. This is pretty good. Sometimes, like now two things can happen. Whether you get stopped out and price continues falling, that's just like, oh well, it is what it is. But the second thing is what can happen is price can come up, stop you out, create a resistance, and then you can sell with confirmations. So that's the second thing that can happen. So you gotta wait for that. So it's good. You've executed a trade, so you've committed to greatness. And the reason why is because if you take a loss, you're gonna learn from the loss, and if you win the trade, you're gonna be like, okay, perfect. I'm not a dumbass. It works. And now I'll have to just repeat it the next day. But there's a high chance you're going to get stopped out because, I think price has to do like a retest, make like a resistance, and then continue down. Carlo Carr. Let's take a look. Carlo Carr from Croatia. I remember Carlo Carr. We sent Carlo Carr a magic keys. It got lost. It came back and we sent another one. Sell limit at 131,650. I think instead of using a sell limit, wait for price to create resistance instead of using limits. That's what I say. I think using buy stops and sell stops is much better than using buy limits and sell limits. Because when you use buy limits and sell limits, essentially you're just trying to call top or a bottom, right? So it's better to use like a market order. Ooh, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, could you take a look at this one? Let's take a look here. This is took first trade. Took a buy when I saw candle closed. Okay. Anticipated to push up to fill the wick. Was it too late to? Yeah, I think at this point when this candle closed like a minor, like a small body candle, this is where you should have said, okay, you know what, maybe the buys are in jeopardy. I took a sell when this candle closed, however, got stopped out. What could have done better because the 1 hour was showing a big red candlestick? Well, you took a sell when this candle closed. It closed at support right here. So, yeah, it closed at support. And also, it was the pound holiday. So whenever you have pound holiday, whenever you have bank holidays, price is most likely to range. So whenever there are bank holidays, I always tell guys, hey, just stay away. There's no reason to rush trades because you get stuck in consolidations over here. So that's all what I got to say to that because it was a bank holiday. Because it was just ranging here. You had resistance forming. Let me just redefine this area here. So you had resistance forming here, and then you had this support forming here. So this was in a, basically it's in a 26 pip range, so it started ranging. Are you using Pro ECN? A Pro ECN account. I think my headset battery is dying. It's showing a red light. Red light means stop.
Better plug it in.
Oh, you can
Yep.
charge while using
Yeah.
it?
Yep. Just put the USB cord in and then just plug it in.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Yeah. Because you get the little beep beep in your ear to let you know that it's weak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard the beep beep yet, just a red light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I usually get that. That's why sometimes you'll hear my mic sort of go weird because I'm doing that.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. I'm trying to plug it in and still work.
Yeah, I better do that soon. What's this? GJ, if 30-minute close below the support, there's a nice chance for sells. I think your support is a little higher. Like right here, this is your support. This candle broke support. So basically you're waiting for resistance to be formed here and then continue down. But again, it's a pound bank holiday, so you have to be very careful. Someone's trying to take EJ sells. I'm in sells. Do you think I'm going to get stopped out? Well, it doesn't seem like it. Because it's a bank holiday and you're still trying to trade. Ideally, I shouldn't even do this analysis, but yeah, I mean, you'd expect the next candle to continue down here, so that makes sense. But if there was enough volume in the market, I mean, it should work. But it's a bank holiday, so it's pretty hard to say what's gonna happen. What if the resistance forms on the 5-minute? Well, if it forms on a lower time frame, just ask yourself how many times has that worked. Like a lot of people, I mean, if you're looking at something smaller than 15-minute, that's a recipe for disaster. It's not going to happen because like when you have confirmations on a small time frames, they are not valid confirmations. They are valid confirmations, but they're not as strong of a confirmation that what you're going to get on like the 30-minute or the 15-minute, because they'll be very strong confirmations. Do you trade between ranges? No. Yeah, I don't trade between ranges. I mean, if this was a like if there was no pound holiday, I would be looking for price to create a resistance here to continue down to retest the low. That's what I would do. Yeah, gold is pretty interesting. If it breaks up 1722, and it's heading up forward. It's heading up between 26, 28. Have you traded bank holidays before without success? Yes, I have traded bank holidays without success, so I stay away from them. Think about it, you know? I mean, why do you want to trade a bank holiday when they're on a holiday? You know why? It's a day off. That's what it means, the day off. Man, people don't want to take days off. It's very important. It's very crucial that you do take days off. You know, I mean, it's just it doesn't really at first, I used to think, oh no, you know what? We can trade bank holidays. There's still some volume. We can still squeeze some pips out of it. But that just meant that I just needed to be in a trade, or I wanted to chase a trade, you know, or I wanted to take a trade to maybe like show off or show it to everybody, show it to my friends or on Instagram or whatever. But it's totally fine to not trade, you know. So, but as you grow, as you like, you know, grow as a trader, as you like accumulate more experience, you start to see some like repetitive things happen over and over again. So maybe down the road you get good enough or confident enough to trade on a bank holiday. But when you're a new trader, I would say just if you see a bank holiday, tell yourself, okay, you know what? This is the day I'm gonna just stay quiet. You know, like people have live accounts, you know, like if you have a fresh deposit, you're really itching to trade, knowing it's a Friday, knowing it's NFP, knowing it's a bank holiday. It just doesn't make any sense, man. You have the next week, the whole week next week. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just no trade today. Yep. So if you see here, it's coming up back in this range. So some people are going to say, okay, yo, let's take a sell away here. Let's anticipate price heading down before any confirmations. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. You know, why would you want to take a sell without any confirmations? You know, what if it starts to continue to go up? And then you'll say, oh, hey, Raja, why did I lose this trade? And I'm going to say, well, you didn't wait for confirmations and you just took a sell like a, you know, I mean, you just took a sell and then that's what happens, you know, when you don't wait for confirmations. Just because you don't trade below the 15-minute doesn't mean it's not possible. People trade different ways. Yours isn't the only one that works. Yeah, that's completely true. You know, I mean, I just do what has made me profitable, and on this stream, I just give out ideas that have made me money consistently for the last. I mean, it's not the last 2 years are not recorded, but the last 2 months are all recorded. You know, so I just give ideas based on that. But in my experience, I've seen that lower time frames they have very weak confirmations, and that means they have a less chance of working.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, Raja, you have to, I think people have to remember is you're explaining the way that you execute and take trades. There's no hard and fast rule that says that that's what the next person has to do. This is a base to give you information so that you can build your plan the way you want to trade. I mean, a perfect example is a lot of times you take trades that I don't take. That doesn't mean that what I'm doing is wrong or that what you're doing is wrong. It's just essentially there's styles according to trade and comfort levels according to trade. If people want to trade the 1 minute candle, go ahead and trade the 1 minute candle if you can do it. Um, just in my experience, I haven't been successful trading the 1 minute candle. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that I can't teach that method, or I can't help you in that method. You have to understand that method.
So this is GP CAD. You're looking for buy stops for the CAD news. Makes sense. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, you know what I've noticed, Ted? I'm pretty sure you've noticed this too. Like whenever we've had NFP and CAD news, I mean USD CAD has just moved in one direction all the time.
Hmm.
Either it's moved up or down.
Yes.
So I think using buy stops and sell stops on that would be better. We'll try that today.
Yes. I USD CAD is. I mean, we're coming to a support at 138 800. So I wouldn't be surprised if we tap that and then pull back again. From what I've watched right now with the US dollar, just from watching major news releases, um, nobody seems to care that the economy is going to crash like in a couple of months with these jobless claims. Like people are that like that's the norm. Like they were expecting it, so you get a little bit of a dip. Like I watched US 30 as a perfect example. Like they just lost like all these jobs over the week, and there was discussions. The Dow just keeps rising. So what I've noticed is, yeah, you get the initial spike down, but then people just don't care. It's going to be okay. Like if you watch like ADP did the exact same thing. ADP dropped for the US 30 at 8:15. It dropped like maybe 30 points, 40 points, and then the rest of the day just kept moving up. So I have a feeling NFP will probably do the same thing. That people will see that the jobs are bad, but they're going to say, well, it'll get better. But it's actually really scary that people are blind to, like, I don't know, maybe there's something that they know that I don't. I just don't understand how you can have 20% of your economy, without a job, and think that stocks are just going to keep going up. So
Man, someone just does not give a shit out there. That's what I see.
yeah, it's just it's remarkable. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, unless all these institutions are all playing the same game, and that game I've read a lot is don't bet against the Fed. Like a lot of institutions have learned their lesson not to short the market against the Fed, because the Fed will just keep pumping money. So I think that's the other reason why things are happening. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like gold yesterday shot up, but that was because of the trade war. Like that's starting up again. So I guess we're moving on past Corona back into the trade wars.
Ooh, I forgot to send the Zoom link in Slack. Everyone's like, "Oh, no Zoom link, no Zoom." My bad. Um, how about this? Let's take a look at this. So we have, this is a chart. Let's see what this chart is. AUD USD, what do you think? I think it's a good buy you have. I think you took a buy. You have a stop loss there, and it seems like it rejected support. I think you think it's gonna continue up over there. So I think you have a pretty good idea over here. So it could play out. Someone's mentioning Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is the guest. Yeah, I wish. Soon, maybe soon, down the road, who knows? We may have Dave Chappelle. Um, do members get access to Slack before? No, that's immediate. Would you be taking trades for today? It depends. Depends, like if there's some sort of a resistance forming in this area, then yeah, for sure. My execution is going to be there. But if there's no resistance forming, then I'm not going to take a trade. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try to take like a buy stop or a sell stop on USD CAD for the news. Because what I've seen is previously, whenever there's been NFP in conjunction with your unemployment rate for the CAD, USD CAD has moved in one direction, either up or down. So just going to focus on that. So we'll see what happens. What are you going to do on? Oh, what's this? GA support break with retest to even number of manipulation 1.9. Oh, okay. I think you're going to be better off by selling below this area over here, this support, because the pound is closed and the Australian dollar is closed. So there's a very high chance AUD just might end up ranging. So you have to keep that in mind. Not sure if right time to ask, but does access to the vault get granted after orientation? Yes. Yes, after orientation. Because there's a lot of things in the vault that, I mean, the orientation is like a big, huge, webinar where we take from like basics to a point where you understand basic price action. But so if the access to the vault is given earlier, then it just ruins the surprise for everybody, right? So that's what we're waiting for. Hey, let's take a look here. This is GPJPY. What does this kind of candle mean? This candle means this is a bullish candle. That's what it means. So basically, this is a bullish candle, So if we start breaking below this low, then there's a very high chance we might continue down to this low and then possibly continue down to 131,460. Waiting for resistance on JPY. How? Please, I don't get it. Okay, I just explained it. Can you please view my chart? Well, if you send it, then we're going to view it. When you put a buy stop or sell stop with NFP, what about slippage? Don't you think it's risky? Yes, it's risky, 100%. 100%. Like when you're using buy stops and sell stops on high volatile news, you will get slipped. So it's better to put aside. Okay, so my advice for anyone who's trying to use, use their account as like a dummy for the news is put aside 10%. If you have $1,000, put aside $100. If you have 5,000, keep aside, 500 or 250, whatever, and just trade news on that, because you will get slipped, 100%. Whenever you put buy stops and sell stops on news, 100% you will get slipped. It just depends how much the slippage is. Like sometimes, like there were times I've been slipped 40 pips, I've been slipped 30 pips, 15 pips. So it does happen. There was a time I got slipped. I had a buy stop on USD CAD. I had a buy stop in USD CAD for interest rates, and it came up. Spread activated my buy stop. I had a stop loss as well. Price slipped my stop loss by 80 pips. So things like that can happen too. I lost $8,000 that day because it slipped 80 pips. I had a 10 lot on, and after that I never did that again. Then I just used like a smaller risk. In Asian session, what time do you trade? Around 6 a.m. Eastern. No, 6 p.m. Eastern. What are the specifications of a confirmation candle after the area is broken? I mean, okay, perfect. So basically, a riskier confirmation is going to be once this 15-minute broke the low of the previous 15-minute candle, right? So this is going to be a more risky confirmation because now you're anticipating this candle to continue down because it broke the low. A more solid confirmation is going to be once you wait for the 15-minute candle to close bearish, then your confirmation is going to get stronger that okay, now we have a higher chance of price continuing down. If we measure this range, this is like a 6 pip range, so then you'll need this low to break to continue for the price to move down. A much better, stronger confirmation is going to be when you see a 30-minute candle closing bearish. Because when you have a 30-minute candle closing bearish, below the support, you have it closing bearish, then you can turn around and say, okay, you know what? Now I expect the next 30 minutes to respect the low of the previous one, and then to continue moving down. That's going to be a much stronger confirmation. But these things are going to work, I think, most of the times when you have volume in the market. So if you look at GPJPY, there's a pound holiday. Pound holiday means there's less volume in the market. You know, like these zones get broken when there's a lot of volume in the market. So you have to keep that in mind. If your setups don't play out on pound pairs or the euro pairs, just understand that because there was no volume in the market, so you're still taking a risk. So trading on a bank holiday is more riskier than trading on like a non-bank holiday because there's less volume. Are you worried about no wick on the 30-minute or no problem? See, that's the thing. It's bank holiday. It's a bank holiday, so you're worried about everything. No volume, so things might not play out as you'd expect them to play out.
Yeah, I think too, people have to have I think back when we started, back in 2016, you have to have a checklist. And your checklist for trading can be, 4 or 5 different variables. You make them up. But what you also need to do is assign a weight or an importance to those variables. So a lot of people will come back and say, well, I can still trade this pair because, of market structure, or the way that it looks and the rejection. And like Raja said, it just, we're on a bank holiday, so we're not going to get that movement. You have to assign a risk factor to trading a particular pair on a bank holiday. What I think I do, and I maybe, I won't speak for Raja, but it's probably true, is we give you the most optimal ideas on how to trade a particular pair or particular session. The reason being is that's probably the easiest way to, facilitate making money or, having successful trades. It doesn't mean that you can't trade pairs on bank holidays. It doesn't mean you can't do things. It just means it's not optimal. So think about it this way. If you went to a casino and you were going to play poker and there was only 3 people sitting down and the table usually sits 9, does it make sense to play against only 3 people when there's like 6 other spaces empty? Probably not. But if you're an advanced poker player and you don't mind assuming the risk because of the fact that you're going to be the big blind and the small blind a lot faster, things of that nature, you could probably play the game 3-handed. And this is where you have to make that decision. I made that decision a long time ago that it doesn't make sense for me to trade on a bank holiday, because even though we could get a move, you could be waiting for 2 or 3 extra hours just hoping that we actually have the structure continues to move in the direction that you're hoping for, when the next day there's no bank holiday and we'll probably get the same trade with a similar market structure. It'll be just a different price. So this is a lot of things that we talk about has come from experience. It's not us guessing that it's not a good time to trade. It's us actually experiencing what you're experiencing right now, saying, oh, GJ looks like it's going to drop, or GJ looks like it's going to go up, but there's no volume, but I'll still take the trade. And then you're just sitting there for 3 hours saying, well, hopefully it'll continue moving up, and it's moved 10 or 15 pips. So it's one of those things where you have to assign a risk and a rating to the variables that you're going to trade. Obviously, higher time frames give you better confluence, so that rating would be higher than, say, a 5-minute candle. It doesn't mean that you can't trade the 5-minute candle, but you have to assign a risk factor to trading that opportunity and say, hey, if I'm going to trade off the 5-minute candle, there is a high chance that maybe support is broken. So I have to be accountable for that, or resistance is broken. So I have to be accountable for that, and I can't apply the same risk model that I do trading on a higher time frame that I do on a lower time frame. So these are constant evolution, or evolving ideas that you must have in your trading plan. It doesn't mean that you're strict and rigid with certain rules. It just means as you get better, you start to now navigate different ideas that you weren't using before. But the majority of people should stick to the 80-20 rule. Do 80% of the things that make you win. Don't worry about the 20% that you're missing out on. Like, it's not going to make any sense. People are saying, well, I want to trade NFP. If you traded all week, why risk capital at NFP just to make what, an extra 10 or 15%? Think about it logically. If you're not going to double or triple your account trading the news, is it worth it if you've done 10 or 15% for the week? Probably not, because you're risking a lot on unknowns. We don't know if there's going to be a whipsaw. We don't know if market structure is going to adjust. Why get involved in that? Let the markets tell the story, and we just pick up the scraps. Don't put yourself in a position where Friday afternoon you're sitting there going, I just made a dumb mistake, or Friday morning I just made a dumb mistake. Don't do that, because it'll eat away at you all weekend. It will eat away at you all weekend. It's psychological. Trading is very, very mental, and that you worked 4 days straight very hard to make money, and then the fifth day you lost it. You're going to feel like a dumbass. It's just natural, and there's nothing that anybody can change in that emotional state. You can't ask somebody, well, how can I get over this? You can't. You've made a dumb mistake, and you knew it was dumb, but at the time you thought it was a great idea, when deep down inside you were just trying to gamble. And so don't put yourself in that position. Just evaluate what you have as your parameters for trading, and make sure you assign different risk variables to those different parameters, so you realize, hey, if there's no volume in the market, that's probably 20% of my overall trading plan. I'm not interested in trading today. I know next week I'll have better market conditions, and whatever I thought I was going to make today, I'll probably make next week, and it's perfectly fine.
If that 30-minute candle closed bearish, we have an opportunity to see it going down to 400. Yeah, makes sense. That could work. So what's this? All right, so this is USD CAD 4-hour. We have clean traffic here, clean traffic. Want to see 30-minute bullish candle above the 4-hour high. Entry can be after we break this 4-hour. My analysis based on technical, not fundamentals. I'll not be trading today. Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. But at the same time, you have news. So since you have, okay, so you have sells mapped out here too. Need to break below, close under support to start looking for sells. This makes sense. The labeling is perfect. You have target 1, your target 2 is defined. This target 3 is defined. So I think this is a very well labeled chart. I think now you can do the same thing on the 1-hour chart and then have even much better, breakdown. So it's pretty good. What's this? Oh, EuroCAD. EuroCAD buys. Haven't seen EuroCAD in a while. Wait for a higher high here. Okay, so see now, this is where I used to get trapped here too. So you have a support here, which may act as resistance, and then you have this resistance over here as well. So what you want to do is now, since price is breaking out of this resistance, it's basically creating a high. When price creates a high, it's going to come down, create a low, and then it's going to continue moving up to retest the high. At the same time, you have news coming on in like an hour and 15 minutes. So I would say if you're trying to trade any CAD or USD pairs, just relax, because whatever analysis you have, that analysis can all be it can go out the window, because news comes in and decides to go the opposite way, and then you're like, oh man, what happened here. Upon expectation of the news in CAD, if it's positive on a pair like USD CAD, that means CAD will be stronger in dollars, so we should short or long. Well, it depends, like we don't know the outcome yet. Because yeah, we don't know the outcome. Anything can happen. Because these are, I mean, look at the numbers. CAD, they're expecting 4 million. It's a change of like 3 million. USD are expecting like 22 million. It's a change of 21 million 300,000. So it's a huge change. Huge changes they're expecting. So we don't know what's going to happen. I'd be surprised if price just wicks up and down, and then someone says, "Oh yeah, the reason was because maybe this was the reason it was priced in." I don't know. This. I mean, this rally on gold from 1691 till 1714, 15, up to like what's this 1722. I mean, this can't be the reason. Like you can't say this was priced in. So let's see what happens. See now in GJ, you have 15-minute candles closing bearish. This is also closing bearish. So 30 minutes also here. It's going to close in 14 minutes. So see what happens. How do you know when there will be a retest and where there won't be when a level is broken? We don't know. That's something we don't know. So a retest is like, let's say if this 30-minute candle closes bearish, then you can say, oh, okay, look, it just retested. And now the next 30 minutes should continue moving down. That's how you know there's a retest. You can't anticipate a retest if it hasn't happened yet. Well, you can anticipate it, but you can't say for sure if it hasn't happened yet. Like on the 15-minute, you can say, yeah, okay, perfect, we've had a retest here. On the 15-minute, you can take an aggressive entry saying that, okay, well, since these candles, they close below 131,660, now there's a high chance for the next candle to continue down as long as we respect these highs, and then we can possibly break down here and continue down to 131,460. But someone who's being more conservative, they might say, well, that makes sense too, but what I'd want to do is I'd maybe want to wait for the 30-minute to close so that I have a much stronger confirmation of a retest. Because 30 minutes is a much higher confirmation time frame. And when you go to the 1 hour is a even stronger confirmation time frame. And then you can say, okay, well, if the 30-minute is closing bearish, and if there's a probability for the next 30-minute to continue down, that means the 1 hour wick should get filled, right? So that's how you kind of like break down time frames into things that you want to see. I sold GJ at the low of this 15-minute and got stopped out at the high and then closed bearish. Well, I think your stop loss was way too tight. This is the thing, if you keep your stops just above the candles, understand when this candle comes up, the spread is going to take you out. So those are just rookie mistakes, which you have to avoid making. Ooh, what's this chart? Take a look here. This is GPJPY at 30-minute. Price created a support, breakout candle, rejection in previous support area, waiting for bearish candle for confirmation. Yep, this makes sense. That makes sense. You're waiting for the candle to close on a 30-minute so that you can get a confirmation. All right. One of the moderators has a trade in. Price broke support, created a new low. 15-minute respective resistance, retested nicely. Okay. Entry at 640 with stop loss above the 15-minute wick. Awesome. Perfect trade. I think this could work out since the 30 minutes about to close in 11 minutes. So you'd want this to close bearish and then expect the next one to continue bearish. Can you tell which page you use to keep your journal? So the page is called Trixie.trade. This is the page, Trixie.trade. Right, what's this? Or the 30-minute would be more solid as confluence if 15-minute bodies are small. Yes, yes. 30-minute is going to be a much stronger confirmation. But also understand this, that there's less volume, which is why the ranges are smaller. You see this range here from 1616 down to this minor support. This is like 6 pips away. You know, if you measure the range down to 131,450, it's like 15 pips away. You know, so ranges are smaller. So that's why waiting is important. Also, like, you know, not trading on a bank holiday is also important. If you really, really, really want to trade on a bank holiday, I would say just use less risk. That's much better. Just theoretically speaking, would you enter a trade if the 30-minute broke the low of a bullish candle outside of a range? Yes. So for example, so that question means is like, let's say if this 30-minute breaks the low over here, you know, then you're expecting price to continue moving down without retracing, right? And I think that was a good example that happened yesterday when we had a fall over here, when we once we broke this low and prices continued moving down without, like, you know, without even retracing. So this was a zero drawdown trade. So that's what you would expect here. But the difference is over here we had volume in the market because, you know, the pound banks were open. Over here there's less volume. So, you know, having the similar stronger move is might not happen. I see some people are in sells on GJ here based on the 15 minute. So yeah, I think it's good. It's good because if this keeps on closing bearish, the 30 minutes going to close bearish, and then you're going to be in a better position to go down. Let's check this chart. This is a bearish break of structure. Price created a new low, resistance formed, waiting for price to show bearish pressure. This resistance. Yeah, you see how it's kind of ranging here on UJ? It's because there's news incoming, you know, so you have to wait for the news. You gotta wait for the news. Man, I'm so excited for our guest today. Everyone's gonna love it. Everybody's gonna love the guest today. How far do you look for overall bias? I don't look that far at all for overall bias. So I just look at what's happening presently. You know, like I'm not gonna go to the 4 hour, and I'm not gonna, like, you know, draw like a trend line. Like, you know, people have the habits of doing this. Oh, we have a trend line over here, and we bounced down over here, and we have a trend line over there going up. I mean, that doesn't matter. What matters is what can you take out of the market right now, like right here, right now. What can you take out of the market? So what we can see is price broke support, price closed bullish. This candle is about to close in 6 minutes, which means it's doing a successful retest. But since it's a bank holiday, the retest might be short-lived. You know, it might not happen just the way you would suppose it would happen. So you might want to lower down your risk when you take a sell here, because I know a lot of people are in sells on GJ right now. Yeah, gold is just ranging heavy. Heavy range on gold. Is there a way I can view your speech as English subtitles on live? I don't know. Can you? Testing, testing. Testing. No, I don't think you can. I don't think I don't think they will work. For those entered GJ, you don't see those two prior candles as having formed support and causing you resistance. So for people who are in sells here, they're expecting this minor support to break and for price to continue down to a much stronger support to 131,460. I think that's the idea behind the sells that they are in. But at the same time, there's less volume. Maybe the volume from NY Open, they're expecting it to continue bearish. I mean, who knows? I mean, the 30-minute candle is about to close now. It's closing bearish, so let's see how this closes, and then we'll know. We'll know more. Raja is Torontonian. His accent is North Mississauga. It's very hard to understand. I lie. It's very hard to understand. What's this? GJ. Oh, nice. Someone's in sells on GJ over here. Target is 131. I'd say like 220, 250. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think you're ignoring the supports over here around 131, 400, 450. So I think that's going to be a good place to maybe take profits as well down over here, because this was resistance and then it's going to act as support, right? Resistance turns support. Would you ever take sells if the previous 4-hour candle was a bull candle? Can you go through how you create your bias? Thank you so much. Well, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but what I can be sure of how this is going to work is that it's going to continue down to 131,460. That's what I do know. So see, the 1-hour wick is about to get filled over here, which is pretty good. 15-minute candle is also bearish, coming down to a minor resistance here. If you are in sells, I would say bring maybe your stops above this 30-minute candle, because now you would want the next 30-minute candle to create a top wick and then continue moving down. So that's going to be a pretty good idea. All right, let's take a look at this. This chart is, ooh, what's this? GJ, 4-hour, waiting, no trade. Overall price is bearish. Market currently in a push phase, pullback, waiting for resistance on the 30-minute. Yeah, it looks good. This looks good. I mean, you're expecting price to continue up to go down, so you're probably waiting for probably next week or something. All right, let's take a look here. Ooh, President Trump speaks at 8 a.m. Wow, man, this guy is awake early today. This guy is awake early before NFP. Oh, this is interesting. I guess what Mans has to say today. This is very interesting. Never seen Trump awake at this time. That's very fishy. See the 30-minute candle, the way it's closing like a very weak bearish candle. So this just lowers the confirmation to go down. So we still got 2 more minutes left for it to close. So let's see how it closes. Can a new trader start with Nasdaq 100? I mean, new trader can start with any pair. It's just a matter of fact how much longer, have you looked at that pair, or what your experience is. So that matters. I think when you start trading a pair, you should at least spend 3 weeks, month and a half, just watching that pair in a particular session and see what it does. I think that's pretty important. Let's take a look at this. This is CAD JPY 4-hour. CAD JPY 4-hour coming down. You're expecting a retest to continue going up. Yeah, I think you'll have to wait for news here. News is really going to dictate what's going to happen. We're charging, we're good. Can you check this gold chart? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this gold chart. Ooh, nice. You're in sells. I think, I mean, you have 2 important events coming up. You have Trump coming up, and you have NFP coming up. So anything to do with gold, it might not work. So see now, This 30 minutes closing in 20 seconds is closing like a, I think it's an average healthy 30-minute candle on GJ. So you'd expect the next one to maybe respect the high of the previous, this current one, and then continue moving bearish. It could be a pretty good idea, but use less risk. Like if you lose a trade on this, and then afterwards you say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have traded. It was a bank holiday," so you'll feel a little better about yourself. Like if you use less risk here, so it's just be safe. How many pips you average a week? I have no idea. No clue at all. This week, let's see here. Let's see how many pips I got this week. This week started on the 3rd, the 4th. We got 7, 10, 10, 27. 27 plus 5, 37, 42, 42 plus 9, 51, 57, 67, 77, 87, 97, 99 pips this week. Yeah, I caught 99 pips this week just by trading, 10 pips. I think it's hilarious how some people created entire IG accounts to try and expose Vix Don't Lie and Uncle Ted and the Forex family. They grasp at straws. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing left to expose. Like I trade here and then I show my trades on Instagram later on, my account when everything goes to my bank account, and then I show, like I showed my bank receipt as well, and it's just hilarious. People just trying to. I think some people have magnifying glasses on, just trying to look for something, but it's never gonna happen because it's all in front of you. Like we don't hide lot sizes, we don't hide anything. It's true transparency. Saturn rings are forming candlestick. Yes. So basically you have the 15-minute candle closing bearish. So you're expecting this one to continue bearish. You can see the 30-minute also. If it starts to break below 131.550, there's a very high chance it's going to continue down to 131.460. So it's pretty good. Should work out. Have you noticed NAS 100 and USD ZAR have a negative correlation? I don't know, don't care. I just don't know how USD ZAR moves. Or NAS 100. So yeah, USD CAD, I'm gonna wait to place buy stops and sell stops, and hopefully I'm gonna have a winning day today. Can we trust this 30-minute candle with no top wick? Well, it's not about trust. It's about, are you willing to take on the risk? That's what it's about. Are you willing to take a sell over here, keeping the stop loss above the previous candle, expecting price to break below 131.550 and continue down? That's the question. Are you willing to take on the risk? If you're not willing to take on a complete risk, then are you willing to take on 50% of the risk? Because if it works out, you're going to say, okay, you know what? It worked out. Candle did a retest. We went down. Perfect. But if it doesn't work out, then you can say, well, at least I had 50% risk and it was a bank holiday. So, I was okay with the risk. That's the whole issue. So that's how you learn. You don't learn as the price action is forming. You learn after the price action forms. So if you take the trade, if you take the risk, if trade plays out in your favor, you're going to say, okay, you know what? Price had no wick at the top, candle came up, made a wick at the top, and then it continued down, and I had a winning trade. And then you could say, okay, you know what? It was just a waiting game because candles, they usually have top wicks and they have lower wicks. So that's the question. Are you willing to take on the risk? Because we can only anticipate, based on this, we can anticipate price breaking the low and continue down. That's it. But the only thing we can control is risk. How much risk are you willing to put on? That's what I do every day. I just control my risk. You know, if price goes against me, I control how much I'm going to lose. I control, like, let's say if my stop is 10 pips, do I really want to, let's say I'm going to use one lot. You know, let's say I take a sell over here and my stop is up over here at a one lot. You know, let's say my stop is at here, like 10 pips. You know, and now if price comes, it starts to come in a drawdown, now it's up to me to decide whether I want to close 50% before it hits my, you know, 10 pip stop loss, or I want to let the whole thing take a loss. So you can control risk. What do you think of this paper trade? Let's take a look. This is gold 30-minute chart. Next paper trade will work out, right? Maybe another retest before going down. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, you know, you have all this consolidation here to the left. You know, you have all these issues here. So, I mean, price might have problems heading down, so you have to keep that in mind. So I mean, if someone really wants to trade GJ, and if they really at the same time they're like hesitant, just do a paper trade. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing a paper trade. Just know that it's a Friday, it's a GBP bank holiday. We have major news coming in. We have a surprise guest coming in at 9 a.m. So there should be no rush to trade. You will not make a lot of money, you know, in one day. You just have to stay calm. Just do a paper trade in your mind. You don't just say, okay, you know, I expect it to continue down without breaking the high of the previous candle. And if it does happen, you're like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna wait for this to happen on Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday. You know, I mean, you shouldn't be in a rush to trade. All right, let's see this chart. This is, ooh, nice. So you have a sell on GJ. Would this be a valid trade? Yeah, I mean, we discussed it 100 times here today, so you could probably bring your stops down here too, a little bit lower. Ooh, someone's got a bullish perspective on GJ. Interesting. Let's take a look here. Oh, wrong chart. Was really looking forward to seeing that bullish perspective. Ooh, Brian made 300 pounds last month. Nice. Can the special guest advise me how to align my trade along with the moon? I think the special guest can teach a lot of people about the simplicities of life. That's what everyone's going to learn with the special guest today. That how to make life very simple, and how that's going to help you with trading as well. You know, like simplicity. Yeah, USD CAD 4 hours. Just it seems like USD CAD is it dropped down. It dropped down on the 4 hours, kind of like trying to do like a retracement to continue moving down. That's what it seems like. So we're gonna wait and see. Let's take a look at this chart. Ooh, wrong chart. Gold 4 hour trend line coming down, and then this other trend line heading up, and you have an arrow coming down. And yeah, I think what I can say to this chart is it makes sense, right? Makes sense. You have support there, so yep, makes sense. So, oh, it's the same chart. Yeah, it's a special day today. We are live for NFP today. We have a special guest today. We have Trump speaking today. Oh man, I think a lot of people are gonna blow accounts here today too. I hope no one blows accounts, man. It's not fun to blow accounts. Will this session be saved on YouTube? Yes, everything is saved on YouTube. Whatever we do here, it's automatically uploaded to YouTube and you can watch it here before again. Have you blown one before? Yes, I have taken pretty heavy hits in the past. So are we buying or selling? We're not doing anything so far. I have no emotions when I blow my account. Oh, I think then you've gone numb to blowing accounts. That's not good. Was there ever a moment in Forex that emotions took over you? Yes. Yep, there was a moment when emotions took over me, and that moment was I remember it was October 2018. I had a fresh deposit of $60,000, and there was FOMC. And on that FOMC, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to make 10,000 today. So I'm going to start by throwing 50 lots. So gold went up and I sold gold with 50 lots and it took me in a negative 20 drawdown ASAP. And then I closed negative 10,000. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to maybe go slow. So I started dropping 10 lots. And then at the end of the day, I ended my account at like 42,000, something like that. So that wasn't a good feeling at all. And then we had to go do groceries. So that happened in 20 minutes. It wasn't a good feeling at all. So, that's what happens. I mean, that was a combination of not trading at the time you're supposed to trade, because at that time I was trading New York session and I should have been trading FOMC. That was one mistake. The second mistake was I was over risking, and the third mistake was I was over trading. So these are three mistakes I was making: not trading at the same time, over trading, and over risking. So I eliminated these three mistakes, and now I'm profitable. I'm very glad to say that I'm a profitable trader. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that that's false. I mean, we do it every day. And the only reason is because I don't overtrade, I don't over leverage, I don't, I'm very cautious on, like bank holidays, like right now, I'm very, very cautious. I'm not taking any trades. I don't risk enough even to be able to blow my account. That's that's pretty good. I think not risking enough is also a problem. In some degree, that's also a problem, because let's say if you have a $5,000 account, and you're trading like 0.05 lots. I mean, that's risking way too low. I mean, you need to risk enough to actually feel to be in a trade. When you're risking low, on, let's say you have a $5,000 account and you're risking like 5-cent lots, or like 2-cent lots, you're maybe losing $5 here, $10 there. That loss isn't enough to force you to discipline yourself, at the same time. Because when you're risking less, automatically you start over trading, risking less, so that, I mean, those aren't really good habits either. So I would say just go off by risking 1%, like 0.5%, 1%. 1% is like a very, very good number to risk. So I'd say go off of that. There's no doubt in your mind that that is false. Yes. That was a little tongue twister there. Let's take a look at this chart here. Oh, yeah, let's go over here. Let's take a look. GU 30 minute. Looking for a good trade to hold. Nice flag pattern forming at 1.24018. Price may consolidate before a potential drop. Selling opportunity at this price. I think you will get this opportunity next week. Next week you're gonna get this opportunity. Or if there's USD news and then Trump is speaking, so who knows, man? You might get that opportunity with the news. We don't know. You know. What was your career prior to trading? It was I was working as a I was running a door-to-door sales firm. We were very successful at that. Somebody about to get stopped out on GJ. Yeah. Just a question on GJ. The bullish 30 minute that closed at 7 a.m. Okay. That has little to no bottom wick. Could that be considered as it creating support and leaving no range to fill below? Yes. Looking for reasons that could have made a sell invalid if hypothetically it wasn't bank holiday. Yes. So it made a support here and then it went up. So then this candle gave you some confirmations that price should continue down. But the only reason supports and resistances are broken when there's volume in the market. So I guess there's no volume, so the support is not breaking. Let's assume no bank holiday. So would you take a sell here as premium price opportunity at 30-minute creating upper wick to eventually fall bearish? Yes. Yes, that's true. I would do that. If there was volume in the market, I would do that. But since there's no volume in the market, I would not even think about that. As you can see in the YouTube chat, people are getting stopped out slowly because they're cursing out GJ. And it's only because there's no volume in the market. You need volume in the market for price to break zones. Do you have a course? Well, if you find my course, if you find a way to pay for it, then that's your luck. If you can't, then we can't do anything about it. What's this? Does trading long-term with emotionless approach affect your everyday life in any way? Yeah, I mean, the only way it affects it is you start seeing things in probabilities, like you really I mean, when you make decisions in life, every decision you will ever make in life is going to be really easy if you remove emotions from the decision. That's it. Like most times people when you make decisions in life, most decisions they have some degree of emotions attached to those decisions. So now the only change I've seen in my personal life is like when I make a decision, I tend to remove emotions from that decision because I try to weigh the outcome. Like if an outcome is going to be in my favor or if it's going to be in someone else's favor. Like let's say you're doing a negotiation for something for sales. You're doing a sales negotiation, and you know that if you present your idea, that that may benefit less the other person. So now you're going to use your own judgment. You're going to say, okay, well, logically speaking, if we go with my idea, I'm going to benefit more from that idea. So if you remove emotions from it, you're going to go ahead with that idea. But if you're going to come in with an emotional state that, oh no, you know what, I have to keep that person's interest in mind too, then you're going to be making an emotional decision. So same thing with here trading. Like when you're taking a position based on the most logical outcome. You're removing emotions. You're not thinking about, okay, what if I get stopped out? You're thinking about, okay, logically this makes sense and logically we should execute on this trade. But if you start thinking about, okay, I'm going to execute on this trade, but what if this happens? What if that happens? What about this? What about that? Now you're introducing emotions in trading. So it basically goes hand in hand. I mean, that's what I've noticed. I'm in Canada. Which broker do you recommend? You can scroll down. You can look at the description, and you can really see. You can see that. You can see that information. I wonder where Trump is speaking. Trump is maybe having an interview with like some news station or something. Okay, it's still charging. How do you overcome the fear of getting into a trade when it reaches your entry? How do you overcome the fear getting into a trade? Oh, that's by understanding how much risk you're trying to put on, you know. Did that fearlessness ever brought you some trouble? No, because you weighed the outcomes, you know. Um, People are asking stupid questions. How can I have your trading playlist? Oh, the music, yes, from YouTube library. So you see on GJ here. Let's take a look at the 15 minute, how 15 minute happens. So see this 15 minute. Once this 15 minute closed bullish, then the idea of price heading down, it started to deteriorate, you know, and then the selling idea started to become less and less because this candle formed bullish. It increased the chance for the next candle to go bullish, you know. So if you were in a trade, you're probably like, you know, maybe closing some percentage, like staying safe. I wasn't in a trade because, you know, it's a bank holiday and I try to stay away from bank holidays. Oh, USD CAD is trying to push down over here now. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm siding with sells on USD CAD, so I'm going to be looking for sell stops on USD CAD. We'll see what happens. Uh, I've never traded via news. I'm curious how you plan this out. Yes. Every time you take a trade, you have, you know, you attribute it to greatness. So we're going to see how news play out. I mean, if you're looking at the 4 hour here, I think let's measure this range, right? If we break below 1.39300, I mean, this is a 60 pip range, and we have very high volatile news, you know. So with that high volatile news, price may break down 66 pips, like 62, 60 pips to 1.38, you know, let's say 700. Yeah, 1.38, 700. It might come down over here. So let's put our target down over here. You know, so I mean, if I have a sell stop down here, it could play out very well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Could be a nice payday. So we'll have to wait for the news event and see what happens. Um, do you look at every chart? Do you look at every chart available? No, I only look at GJ because that's the only pair I trade these days. I only trade GPJPY. For news, I've traded USD CAD before, so for news I put, you know, like buy stops and sell stops. So let's see what happens. How do you decide your lot sizes? You always shift between 5 and 10. It depends. I'm very, very comfortable trading 5 lots. Extremely comfortable. I'm still getting over the 10 lots. So, you know, that's why I shift between the 5 and 10. Because sometimes, you know, if I'm very confident, I'm gonna put on like a higher volume lot size. But if I'm less confident, I'm gonna put on like a lower volume lot size and then add on to it as price goes in my favor. You know, so using smaller lot sizes is better because then you can add on to them as price, you know, goes to your favor and stuff like that. Hey, newish to following you, have learned a lot without actually trading, but just following certain periods over a couple of weeks. Thank you. What made you decide to trade GJ? Um, it's just the pair that I've mostly seen success on, so I just stuck to it. Why fix something that isn't broken, right? What makes you less confident and more confident? Well, this trade here, if I wanted to take this trade, I would have been less confident because there's a bank holiday. There's no use of moving averages on chart, question mark. No, for me, there's no use of moving averages. Moving averages don't tell me when to enter. Candlesticks will tell you when to enter. You know, the thing about moving averages is that once price has moved, your moving averages is gonna like give you that indication, okay, now's the time to enter, or now you can take an entry. But when you're looking at candles, candles will tell you exactly when to enter. So if you study candles, if you read candles, candles tell all sorts of stories, man. Candles tells all sorts of stories in conjunction with the fundamentals, and fundamentals here are that there's a bank holiday. So there's a bank holiday and there's a minor resist support here. So I mean, it's a bank holiday. When you're trading NFP, what timeline do you focus on? Well, you're gonna see today. Any questions on news you guys have? You're gonna see how I, put buy stops and sell stops in news. What's this? Gold 15-minute arrow over here. Looks good. Beautiful chart. I mean, you need some labeling, right? How many pips far away from the current price do you put your buy stops and sell stops? Well, if we're gonna wait for the news and we'll see what happens. How much, Raja? How much do you charge for your course? I charge $100,000 for my course. um, is GJ is a buy, guys? Don't be fooled. Well, there you go. Someone gave a signal. Do you choose to trade USD CAD for news? Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna wait. Do you take Bitcoin? I take all coins. Do you think it is forming a W pattern? Okay, let's take a look here. See, it's a Friday. It's a Friday, so I'm not really focused on one pair. We're just here, just hanging out, waiting for the news, just analyzing charts, and we're waiting for the special guest at 9 a.m. Oh, wrong chart. Sorry, you sent a wrong chart. Can't open it. If someone's looking for buys on GJ, I would say look for buys above 131,920, this area. Look for buys above that area. I'll tell you why. If you go to the 1 hour, right, and you have this next support up over here at 132,150, and if we measure this support, this is, let's see how far this is. This is 22 pips away, right? As you can still get 10, 15, 12 pips out of it. So now just think about this, price is coming into this area. There's a GP bank holiday, so you have a couple of roadblocks here. The first roadblock you have is this resistance up over here, and the next roadblock you have is this resistance up over here. And when you measure this range is actually, this is a 25 pip range. This roadblock is like 14 pips away, and the next roadblock is like around 8-9 pips away from the first one. So a better opportunity you're going to get for buys is not over here, because price may range over here since it's a bank holiday. A best opportunity you're going to get is over here, because you have clean candle here to the left. That's going to be a better opportunity to take a buy. So if I was to take a buy, I would wait for price to break above 131,900 to take a buy up to 132,100 or 132,150. And then possibly there's a chance for price to come up towards this area, 132,300. So you really have to choose your battles, How do you increase your lot size after you've entered an order? You can't. You can't do that. If you enter with a, let's say 10-cent lot, you can't increase it to 20 cent. I mean, it'll be pretty nice, right? You enter a 1-cent lot and then price goes in positive, you increase it to 10. That'd be pretty nice. What time frame do you trade mostly on? 30-minute, 15-minute. No Spanish French charts today. No cambio español. GJ going to be a buy or a sell? We don't know yet because it's a bank holiday. Do you wait for retest after candle breaks the support resistance? Yeah, mostly it's a good practice to wait for that. You can only decrease the lot size. Yes. So while you're in a trade, you can only decrease the lot size and you can't increase it. Man, oh man, Trump is about to speak here soon. I wonder where he's speaking. Let's take a look here. President Trump speaks. White House is the source. Oh, he's speaking on Forex Friends television. Okay. Surprise from the source, event added to 30 minutes. Oh wow, that's crazy. Coronavirus.gov. All right. So this is President Trump's schedule every day. Um, 6 to 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Ooh, in-house pool call time on Friday. Pool call time. This is what Trump does every day. Look at this. He has a routine, man. This is a job. Being a president is a job. Like everything is scheduled to the minute. Wow, crazy. See now, this candle closed above over here, so you know it possibly maybe did a fake out. So I mean it's a bank holiday. Yeah, see, so Trump has been 1,000 days in the office. He has 200 more days left. He has 264 golf days. I don't know what T stands for. Yeah, I don't know what T stands for. He's been to 26 countries, 44 states and territories. Oh, Donald Trump has visited a property he owns on. Oh, okay. Everything is tracked. Wow, it's crazy. Interesting. Total words spoken since he's been in the office. Can you imagine? Total words spoken by the Trump? Wow, 10 million. This is just insane. What a stat. This is who's counting? Wow, this is crazy. Immigration. Wow, let's see here. China. Let's see what pops up. Oh, so everything he has said about China, everything he said about China is over here. Let's see if you've said anything about Forex. Probably not, nothing. This is crazy. What a stats, man. They keep tracks of everything. Let's go back here. This is unreal. This is his mission statement. Yeah, imagine your job was to count words of Trump. Nuts. So see, this is calm before the storm. This is so calm before the storm. Like gold is ranging right now. I mean, you have really bad data coming up. Really bad data coming up, man. Like I'm not sure what Trump is gonna say. Like on Fox News, I don't have access to that. But man, 22 million. Everyone's expecting this. So this is the thing. If everyone's expecting this bad data, gold should move up. It hasn't moved up. I mean, you could argue it had like a move up yesterday during the New York session, but I don't think this move was enough to say that news was priced in. I It could be because wow, it was like a $25 move. It could be, but we'll have to wait and see. Interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on buy stops and sell stops on USD CAD. That's what I'm focused on. Before I place buy stops and sell stops, I'm going to put the levels here and we'll go about that. We'll see what happens. And then after that, after NFP at 9 a.m., we're going to have a special guest to brighten up everyone's morning. Whoever's going to lose on news, whoever's going to blow accounts, we're going to have a special guest so they will brighten up your morning today. So we can do that. Daily 4 hour, 30 minutes should be alien for entering. Yes. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Does a special guest provide house calls? No. No. Probably, maybe. You should be able to visit them though. We'll see what they have to say. The special guest doesn't know the amount of people watching right now. They think it's going to be like, a team of like, 10, 15 people. But we have actually 2,200 people watching. So it's going to be a big surprise for them as well. So let's take a look at this chart. Um, it is what it is. What do you think? I think it is what it is, man. You have USD news coming on, so it's going to be pretty tricky. It's going to get pretty tricky. What's the correlation, if any, between Forex and stock market? I have never focused on that, so I would say I have no idea. What's the special guest to do with the trading community? This special guest has everything to do with the trading community. It's basically going to show you how simple life can be and how simple you need to make trading. Because trading is just a series of prices going up and prices going down. Like most times people have a lot of, most times what you want to do is like you add a lot of, let's say, like indicators on the charts just to tell you if price is going to go up or down, when realistically, I mean, you only have to look at the candles. Imagine price went, so basically price goes either up or it goes down, right? We look for candle confirmations to dictate that in our given time if price will go up more or is it going to go down more, right? Imagine if price went right and left and diagonally in all these directions. Imagine price went this way. So when people add indicators to the charts, I mean, I used to do the same thing. Now when I look back, I think I was trying to solve which direction price will go, as if price had all these directions to go. So when price is only going to move in two directions, you only need to look at just simple things. That's it. People are trying to guess who the guest is. You will never be able to guess who the guest is. That's because it's a surprise guest. No one knows. No one knows who the guest is. Do you believe in the Candlestick Bible? I think I've read one page of the Candlestick Bible, and I haven't read enough of it to believe in it. No, it's not. It's not. It's not whatever you're guessing. It's not John Cena. It's not Carol Baskin. It's not Kennefax or Mac or Ted or the guest. No one has ever heard about that guest. It's going to be a good surprise. We're moving close towards the news here in around 22 minutes. What I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to be looking at placing buy stops and sell stops. I'm going to look at the 1 hour candles here, and I'm going to see if I can put a buy stop and sell stop here. If the 1 hour candle stays bearish, I'm going to put a buy stop above the high of the 1 hour candle. If it stays, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Buy stop is probably going to be above the 1 hour candle. A sell stop probably is going to be below over here. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's the way the cookie should crumble today. Buy stops and sell stops on USD CAD. No, it's not. It's not. It's not Joe Exotic. It's not any one of those people. See now, once this candle closed bullish, there was a higher chance it's going to continue moving up now to this area. So, just staying patient here. The only trade I'm going to take is going to be a buy stop or sell stop on USD CAD. That's it. That's the only trade I'm going to take. So we'll see what happens. Ooh, gold is trying to rally up over here. I think gold's going to break. Gold's going to break 1721. If gold breaks 1721, looking left, it might head off to 1726 as the first target. Yeah, 15 minutes of breaking. What's the best of your videos to watch? I think all the videos are best to watch. You can start by the signs. The signs is pretty good. When placing buy stops and sell stops, do you also have stop loss and TP? I generally don't add stop loss on buy stops and sell stops because the reason you use buy stops and sell stops is because you're expecting price to just rally through those price levels. If price starts to retrace, you just close. I mean, I'll have my button on, I'll have my finger on here. It's going to be on close full. That's where I'm going to have my finger on close full. So I'm going to hit that, you know. How fast is your internet? I think my internet is pretty fast. Let's take a look here since we're waiting for the news. How do we do this? We go to google.com and then we go to speed test, right? Speed test. Let's take a look here. Should be. Oh. Oh, it looks like it's not that fast at all. It's actually faster than 70. This is embarrassing. It's actually pretty fast. it's it's not that slow. It didn't even go above 10. Oh man. Yeah, so let's see here. Any advices on patience mentally? Yeah, just have fun, like I'm just chilling here. I'm not forcing any trade or anything like that. Nothing. Um, that's because of your Zoom chat and YouTube. Yeah, it's probably because of that. Probably because of my Zoom chat and YouTube, but whatever. Oh, gold isn't breaking above here. We have 15 minutes left for NFP. 15 minutes left. How long do you wait to enter a trade using market execution when there's news, say at 8 a.m. Eastern Central? When there's news, I don't look to enter a trade. So, yeah, so I'm looking to enter a buy stop and a sell stop on USD CAD for the news. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place my buy stops and sell stops maybe like 2 minutes before the news, and we'll see what happens. How does Magic Keys work on multiple trades? They close everything, when you hit close. What lot size do you suggest for account 130 to trade NFP? I think if you have a $130 account, I would suggest trading 1 cent lot. I mean, that would be good, or 2 cent lot. Hey, Raja, I'm currently paper trading. When I enter a trade, I can't seem to let it run even though they mostly hit my targets. There's no emotional because, yeah, so when you're over trading, this is the main problem people have. Though I think most people have this issue is like when you enter a trade and you have your targets mapped out and you know that the trade is going to go to your target, something inside you tells you to close. Like you're not unable to hold the trade towards your target. And the most easiest way to do that is to put stops at break even, because when you're letting a trade run, your biggest fear is that the trade might come back and hit your stop loss. It might come back to your entry and now you're getting afraid. I get that. I've been through that. So the best way I would do it is like when you're running a trade, put stops at break even. Just put it at break even. What that's going to do is that's going to force you to keep the trade open. Or if you're getting very angsty about it, just close 75% and let the rest run at break even. And if it runs to your target, you're going to increase your confidence. Your confidence is going to increase. You're going to say, okay, you know what, price did what I expected it to do. So that's one way to do it. There's no other way. The other way is just let it go, like let it run. So
The other thing is too, I mean, a lot of people don't have enough experience, like they haven't executed enough times. They think that executing, I hear people, they send me a message and they'll say, well, my plan isn't working. I said, well, how many trades have you taken? Oh, I've done about 40. That's not a big enough sample size to really give you a good feel for execution. I think you only get above the idea of being comfortable with execution after about a year or two. Unless you've had experience risking money, like, with risk management and things of that nature. But a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to work with funds in a financial setting, being able to risk it or being able to do things. So you have to build that tolerance, and that tolerance only comes with experience. And I think a lot of people, they don't want to wait for that. They think that it's just one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh, I'm okay trading, this to this point, or I'm okay doing this. And that's not going to happen. It's experience, and it's also being comfortable doing the same thing over and over again. And as a human, it's hard to do repetition. We're not used to doing repetition. We're not robots. So you have to now train your mind to do something over and over again. That takes time and that takes repetition. So I don't think anyone should be very concerned that they're not comfortable trading, or they're not able to do certain things in trading if you've only been trading for less than a year, or less than 2 years. I think your breakthrough will come through years 3 and 4, and especially um, regarding your age. I mean, the younger you are, the less experience you have in terms of trading. You're controlling your emotional state in general. There's still a lot of maturity that you have to build up as well. So don't be concerned too much about holding trades and doing things if you've traded less than a year. If you've traded less than 10,000 trades, like if your journal is 2 pages or 3 pages, or you've done 50 or 100 trades, that's nothing. That's literally a drop in the bucket. So when you get to 10,000 trades, you should feel a little bit more comfortable. You'll have experienced multiple scenarios and you'll be able to navigate things. So really, once you get to that point, then I think you'll see a change. And I don't even think you'll notice that you've done 10,000 trades. Your confidence, your experience will just automatically be up at that point.
Do you know any successful traders like 18 years old? Nope. You mean aging making everyone mature? Yes. Aging makes everyone mature. And if you think otherwise, I think there's a lot of life you need to experience. Have you ever considered writing a book? I don't think so. How do you plan a sell stop and a buy stop? Yes, so basically, looking at USD CAD right now, we have around 11 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put a buy stop above the 1 hour candle high around here, 1.39560. That's going to be my buy stop, which is going to be around 15 pips away from market price. My sell stop is probably going to be around 1.39250. Yeah, somewhere over here. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, like, where price is, at least like 5 minutes before the news, and then I'm gonna place my buy stops and sell stops, and then we'll see what happens. And trust me, if anyone's trying to have a smart idea to maybe do it on like their normal account with a normal risk, just be careful, because I mean it could possibly ruin your account. Because there could be a lot of slippage as well. A lot of slippage as well. What do you think about mission effects? I don't think about anyone. I don't look at people what they do. I don't see what they do. Sometimes, I have a habit of trolling people, but that's just for fun. Otherwise, I don't really care what people do. What platform do you recommend for beginners? I think MetaTrader is a really good platform. TradingView is a really good platform to, plot out charts, your analysis and stuff. It's pretty good. I need to cover my losses. Well, it's not going to happen today. When you input buy stop sell spot, do you have a stop loss for it? No, I have my finger on the close button. I don't use a stop loss there because I'm expecting price to just rally through. Place an order before or after NFP. I'm placing my orders before NFP. You're going to see what I do. Exactly what I do, you're going to see it in front of you. How do you determine when to place your stops? When to place your stops? Well, the best time to determine when to place your stops is basically when you're expecting a lot of volume in the market. So if we look at the time, we got 10 minutes left for NFP, and we know there's going to be a lot of volume in the market. So when I place a buy stop, I'm expecting price to just rally through the buy stop. Or if I'm placing a sell stop, I'm expecting price to rally through the sell stop. If you remember one time, your buy stops and sell stops both got activated. Yes, they both got activated once in NFP, and it is what it is. This it is what it is. Can you go over what you journal? Yes. So after I take a trade, so the trade the chart markups I post every day. So that's basically what's my journal. I just post that, and then I just post what happened. How was my performance. These live streams are my best journals because I can go back and view the live streams. I can view what I was thinking, how I was thinking, what was happening at that time, how could have changed my thought process and stuff like that. So I think going over the live streams have really, really helped me better understand my own analysis. What do you think of gold? I think gold is in a range. I also think there's a lot of manipulation happening on gold. I also think that if the news, I don't know, man. I mean, they're expecting really bad numbers, and like if nothing happens, just like last time, you could argue that, oh well, maybe this was priced in. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We got what? We have 8 minutes left. 7 minutes left for the news here. Give value for traders that give you tips, help each other. Yeah. I still don't know what NFP is. I even Googled, but I guess I'm not getting it. LOL. Yeah, I think if you don't know, NFP is the most important news event for the US dollar. This basically describes how the economy is doing because the number of employed people are there. Because when you have large number of people employed, that means the industry is doing good, everything is up and up. But when you have less number of employed people, then that means the economy is in the shitter. So if you look right here, they're expecting negative 22 million. They're expecting a 22. This is huge. It has never been this way. Let's take a look here. Let's go all the way back to 2009. It has never been this way. Look at these numbers. Only like 169,000. Like This was like 500,000 over here, and currently this is 22 million. Man, huge, huge. We've never seen this happen before. Never ever we've seen this happen before. So this is something new. Yeah, this is something new here. Can you tell me the name of the journal? Man, I honestly think some people are blind in YouTube chat. Seriously. It's written right here at the bottom, journal page trixie.trade. I just don't understand where, I mean, what, it's hilarious. It just boggles my mind, man. Don't you get bored of the same music? No. This, some of the music reminds me of my profitable trades, so I don't get bored of the music. Yeah, so I'm possibly gonna place a buy stop. I'm gonna place a buy stop at 130, 1.39570. Yeah, 1.39570. I'm gonna place my buy stop here. $1.39570. Here we go. Sell stop is going to be difficult. All right, so I got a buy stop at 1.39570. It's the buy stop. Perfect. Got a buy stop over here. Some traders say weed is good for psychology. I think if you smoke weed while you come to trade, you're gonna. I don't think. No, it's not gonna work at all. No, you have to take it seriously. You have to take trading very, very seriously. Trading, man, trust me, trading has the ability to make you a lot of money. A lot of money. Like the way when it really comes in, it comes in fast. I never even thought in my wildest dreams that I'm gonna have like $10,000 months while trading. I never even thought about that until it started to happen. So that when you get to that point, it just changes everything. It just changes everything you've ever been told about working or making money. It's just unreal. You just have to experience that. My sell stop is at 1.39220. 1.39220. Let's see if I can even tighten this up here. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see here. So maybe, yeah, I think over here it's going to be better. 1.39, 1.39250. All right, cool cats and kittens. Um, so it is right here. This is my sell stop. 250. Perfect. So for the news on CAD, I have a buy stop at 1.39570 and I have a sell stop at 1.39250. The buy stop is just above the 30-minute high and the sell stop is just below this support over here, and I'm expecting price to either continue going bearish or I'm expecting price to continue moving bullish. So let's see what happens here. I have no stop losses. I'm going to be closing my trade if it goes in a drawdown ASAP. I'm not going to wait around. So it's something you need to take in mind. I wish everyone good luck. Whoever's trying to trade, good luck to you. Let's see. Let's measure this here. Ooh, 240. Might want to move my sell stop to 240. Yeah, I moved it to 240 because the spread might activate it. So gotta be safe. What's the TP for USD CAD trade? I think like 10, 15 pips. I mean, if I get 40, 50, that's going to be amazing. But I doubt that's going to happen. So right now we have 10 seconds left. Spreads have widened here a little bit. Oh, nothing. Removed my buy stops. Removed my sell stops. Nothing happened. Nothing got activated. See what happened to gold. Ooh, gold spiked down. Wow, GJ went bullish. Now GJ is breaking above 131,940. Nothing. See now, since GJ is breaking above where we said it would, if it does continue this momentum, there's a very high chance it's going to continue up to 132, 150. But yeah, it looks like nothing really concrete that happened here. Oh, a number was better than expected. Wow, a little better than expected. It was still bad, still negative 20 million. UJ is flying, that's true. Nothing really happened on the CAD. Oh wow, UJ did flew.
US 30 flew.
US 30 went higher. So US 30 moved how much? 100 points.
That's a lot.
Oh. Man, I've noticed that these previous NFP movements, like nothing major moves have happened at all.
Mhm.
You know, like we used to get. We used to get like gigantic moves, and nothing like that has happened here at all. Like in the last
Yeah,
4 or 5 months.
it seems like the volatility happens throughout everything else, so they don't have anything really to push. To be honest, I think there was a lot of manipulation throughout the weeks in general.
Yeah, it's pretty odd because, before we see NFP move a lot, I think that's true too because previously price would just, consolidate and then you'd have the
Mhm.
numbers and we'd have fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, all the comments are, the market already knew there's stuff. Yeah, that's the other thing too. But I mean, we weren't expecting anything crazy because we watched ADP. ADP sort of fizzled as well, so I wasn't surprised that this fizzled.
Now, since there was no movement, everyone's now going to say, "Oh yeah, see, it was priced in, priced in."
Yeah,
I mean,
which we knew. I mean,
yeah. What is your trading strategy? Oh, candlesticks. Because of such important news, does that make the spreads jump? Yes, absolutely. Spreads go pretty high.
yeah, and if you want to understand what spreads are, the obvious answer is spreads are the difference between the buy and the sell, right? That's the cost of doing business. So when spreads increase on a pair, you have to understand that the cost of doing business has changed for that particular pair. It can be related to the volume that there is of that pair, that there's a particular news event coming for that pair. You have to understand that the banks, market makers, institutions, when they release the price, they are also they're a business, so they're in the business of making money. If they know that one side of price, either a buy side or sell side, is going to be heavily favored, they're going to increase the spread to make it more costly for you to trade. They will also increase the spread when the scarcity of that currency pair is there as well. So supply and demand. When there is a lot of supply of that particular currency pair, then that is where you see the spread tighten up because of the fact that they want to unload or they want to be able to sell that pair to you, or sell in the sense of making you trade that pair. When the spread widens, it's because there's a scarcity of that pair, or the conditions in which to have that pair is either really easy, in terms of a news event, so they don't want you to get extra money. They're taking what they can because the assumption is if you traded a certain pair that the spreads widen, that it would essentially move in a rapid pace, not whether it's moving up or down, just in general. So that spread would be covered rather fast. So they're trying to get the most money for you to from you when you trade that particular pair. So when you think of spreads, when spreads widen, it's usually because of lack of volume, or they're looking to make sure that they get paid either way. And that's the cost of doing business. You're never going to get away from spreads. You're going to either pay commissions or you're going to pay a wider spread. You're never going to get away from that because that's how all the banks and institutions and market makers make their money. So that you have to get used to that, and you as a trader have to determine, hey, does this spread make sense for me to trade this pair? If not, I shouldn't be trading it. So really get used to all that.
Oh, the reason you didn't see a big move is because both American and Canadian news came positive. If you check UJ, you'll see a huge move. Yeah, that's why I think USDJPY moved a lot. See how many pips this was. This was 20 pips. I mean, that's a big move for UJ, to be honest. Yeah, no trade for today. Had no trade. Now we're just waiting for the guest at 9 a.m. See if the guest sent me an email here. How will we know if the guest has joined? Probably tell the guest to raise their hand when they join. Okay, I just emailed the guest when they come. Just raise their hand. We have 2,400 people waiting. The guest is gonna say, "Oh shit, what am I walking into?"
I don't think they're ready for what we're doing.
Yeah, they're not ready for what we're up to now. Yeah, wow, yeah, nothing happened. Gold just ranged. Gold just ranged. Like if someone's trying to take buys here in gold, I mean, good luck. It's just ranging here. This is still a pretty big range here. It's ranging here. I mean, UG had to move up, and I mean, It's just nutty to trade today.
We can't see John Cena, so it would never be him.
Yeah, it would never be John Cena. It's actually an ex-advisor to what's his name? Warren Buffett, ex-advisor, his son. So he's coming on today. Wow, seems like UJ should continue moving bullish here. The market is taking this as good news. I mean, everything's good. The market is taking as negative 20 million as good news as well. No, it's not Brandon Carter, it's not Shaquille O'Neal, it's not Akil Stokes, it's not Elon Musk, it's not Sean Lee.
I love how people think that like George Soros would come to a YouTube channel at 8:45 on a Friday morning.
Yeah. Let me just get on there.
Yeah, well, I heard such great reviews about this YouTube channel. I need to go talk to these people. Like some celebrity's gonna show up or something. That would be the day that a celebrity showed up to the YouTube channel.
I think it could happen.
Yeah.
Someday the message is, hey, we want some publicity.
It's Drake. He woke up this morning, so he's gonna come on here. He's gonna talk to everybody about rapping.
No, it's not Kim Jong-un. I was reading Kim Jong-un. He basically he orchestrated his supposedly death, close to death, to weed out like traitors. Yeah, and it was all over the news. They're like, oh, this guy scammed everybody, but this guy really he orchestrated all that. That he's close to dying, so he could see like who's the traitor in his whole in his empire. Wow, looks like UJ is going to continue moving bullish.
Yeah, US
What?
30 moved bullish. It's so funny. It retraced back like in 5 minutes. It retraced 60 points, and then it pulled back up in the next 50-minute candle. In the next 5-minute candle, it moved again. It's amazing how fast that pair moves.
Oh wow. Pulled back 70, 80 points and then moved back right up.
Yeah, could you imagine being in that trade? You can just be all over the place.
1 point is $1. 1 point is $10
Yeah,
on one lot. Shit.
yeah. Trump's talking about how he thinks the economy is going to be just fine.
Do you look out for pullbacks before continuations? Depends what's happening. No, it's not Q banks either. I mean, people like those, like they're not special. This is a very special guest. We're gonna have a very special guest. Oh wow, this thing is pulling right back. See, it's so hard to trade US30. Like,
Yes.
when it broke up, you'd expect this for 5 minutes to continue moving bullish.
It rips right back down even further, back in that zone to then move back up again. But you got to survive that drawdown. if we get another 10 million job losses the rest of this month, there's no reason for stocks can't be back in all-time highs next month. My Twitter feed is awesome. 33 million people have now filed for unemployment, and Dow futures sit at currently plus 297. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Can you please show Fibonacci style? I don't know Fibonacci style, so I can't show it. Yeah, it looks like Ujo's going to continue moving up. So, this thing is now starting to rally back up.
Yep.
I think since it's moving, I think this area would be nice for it to come into. Yeah, that would make sense. Let's see if it happens. Gold is continuing down here too. Maybe like 1706.
To be honest, the US 30 doesn't make sense to me the way that we're moving right now with all these job losses. I don't know what's driving it. Like, in all honesty, we should be down at like 22,000 right now. We shouldn't be at 24,000 with the amount of jobs that we're losing. Excuse me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's just that positive sentiment.
Yeah.
You know, like they're saying it's going to be worse, but it's better than expected, even though it's bad. It's like saying, oh, we had an accident. I think we totaled the car, but in all reality, you broke all the doors.
Yeah, we can fix it.
Yeah, we can fix it. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of the smart money doesn't believe the U.S. economy doing what it's doing right now. That's the thing. But like I said earlier, you can't bet against the Fed, right? That's your losing proposition. The Federal Reserve is like the whale at a poker table. You can't bluff them because they have unlimited money. And it's frustrating because you know that they're cheating to get their money, but you can't bluff them because they'll just put more money into it. And now that's artificially pumping all these markets. I think once we drop interest rates again with news, when I guess as soon as the economies open up, that's when the reality will hit. Because as an example, I have a friend. They just lost their business yesterday here in Canada, and I actually reached out to them and I asked them if they wanted me to bail them out because I like their business, what they do with kids and stuff like that in terms of daycare and helping kids develop. But she said no because it's just way too much stress right now because they lost a lot of enrollment and stuff like that. So that's a perfect example of a very good business that was open for 7 years that now doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, like out of nowhere, a lot of businesses just poof, gone up in the air.
Yeah, and it's scary, like that's a reality check for me. Like when I saw that message yesterday, when I read it yesterday, I was like, wow, that's a reality check because their business was doing well. I mean, they didn't need a lot of money to start back up again. It was like maybe I was estimating probably maybe I would to cover them for the next 6 months, maybe 100,000, 150,000. And she said no. She's like, I don't want it. I'm filing for bankruptcy.
Wow, that's a tough decision to make, filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah. So, and it was in Mississauga, the business. It was open for 7.5 years now.
Yeah, I think like a lot of those businesses like who were in the service industry like that, they're gonna suffer a lot. Like your nails salons. My buddy had a barber shop. He's like, I can't open up again, because oh wow, gold fell. take that bag on gold. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just
I know Aldo filed for bankruptcy.
Neiman
Um,
Marcus,
yeah,
Aldo, Neiman Marcus, J. Crew. There's like a whole
Lowe's.
Lowe's. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of businesses that are just going under.
Someone said massage parlors. That's true. No happy endings. Going.
Is being a trader recession proof? I think when you look at the current economic state of the world, this was a very good wake up call for a lot of people that overextend themselves in terms of what they buy, what they think they need. Um, Really, they were supplying a lot of their wants. They weren't actual needs. It's funny because Raja and I get made fun of all the time because we don't go out and blow money on things, right? Like the whole comment about Raja not buying the pro trading view, right? And it's like, well, why? We don't need it. That's a microcosm of the current economic state, to be honest, because if people had the money, they would buy TradingView Pro just to say that they had it. When really, I don't think there's any bigger benefits, but the use or the utility of making that purchase wasn't warranted. And now, when we look at the way the economy's moved in the last 3-4 months, all those people that would be overindulging in things are now running scared because their job is in jeopardy. How are they going to pay for things? But if they look back at their spending habits, a lot of what they spent their money on were things that weren't necessities. And don't get me wrong, you should have fun and you should enjoy life, but choosing between a $200 pair of shoes and a $600 pair of shoes, that's $400. The shoes are there to wear on your feet, to protect your feet from the ground and to make sure your feet are comfortable. I don't think there's much difference in comfort and utility between a $200 pair of shoes and a $600 pair of shoes, or $50 versus $100, so to speak. Um, I think that's where a lot of people now have found resolve to say that, hey, I don't need to spend this money anymore, and I shouldn't be doing that, but it's a little too late. So, but I mean, it's like getting a speeding ticket. People ask me what's going to happen with the economy. This is exactly like getting a speeding ticket. Everyone for the next 6 months after this is over will be very hesitant to spend, very mindful of what they're doing, and then sooner or later they'll forget that this happened, and they're just going to carry on spending and doing stuff once the economy ramps back up again. And that's pretty much what's going to happen in terms of the world. I mean, it's like when you get a speeding ticket. The first 2 weeks after you got that ticket, you drive the speed limit because you're worried about getting another ticket. After 6 months, you just gun it, bolt around, and do what you do, and you forget that there's cops out there until you get another speeding ticket.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a long time for things to get back to normal. Like a lot of businesses, like they send people to work from home. They are actually liking that because they're more productive that way. My wife works for RBC, and they are now saying that, okay, now for the next 6 months, you guys have to just work from home. Only essential people who need to come to the office, only they have to come to the office. And they also stated that this is also to ensure that the RBC resources are not used as they were being used before. So I think they're trying to cut costs that way as well. So like a lot of businesses are gonna adopt these new models of working out because like since you send guys home, they work from home, they're more productive, you save on transportation time. I mean, this is just gonna be like the new norm now.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, it's obvious that they would receive those cost savings, but the problem was the businesses weren't ready to take that chance. Like if they didn't have to take that chance, they weren't going to. But because it was forced upon them, there was no like there could be no blame put on people. So that's why now everyone's championing this work from home, flexible work schedules, because they've seen it in action and there was no repercussions for people in senior management making that decision. Because for you to say, hey, everybody work at home, this is a better approach, you're going to have older, more, like rigid executives saying, no, we're not changing our business model. So there would be a fight, and whoever was wrong would get fired. But in this case, there was no right answer. It was forced upon them. So now all senior executives are on the same page, and they're all saying, hey, this works. Everyone work from home because there's no repercussion to their job. If you ever worked in corporate, you'd realize that the only way corporate makes a decision is if there's no repercussion to their job. They will never take a risk that implies that they may lose their job. And now that was a big risk in the last maybe 5 6 years, to have people have flexible work schedules, because you didn't want to put your name out there saying that you endorsed people working from home if they goofed off for like 3 hours or 4 hours out of the day. But truth be told, a lot of people like flexible work schedules because you could wake up at 7 in the morning and you're already at your job instead of commuting for an hour or doing whatever you're doing. But they never looked at that. They figured that employees would just goof around for like 5 6 hours and then work for an hour a day, which, I mean, there's going to be a handful of people that do that, but the majority of people, will do their job effectively. Um, but yeah, for any sort of monumental change in sort of corporate worlds, there has to be a neutral decision for senior executives. Like they can't be fired, because if there's a possibility of them getting fired, they won't make the decision to do anything. They'll just sit on their hands and just accept it.
Yeah, I think you're right because no one had to sit around a board meeting to make a decision. It was just like, okay, guys, this is it. Your staff has to work from home. If you don't, there's gonna be fines. And everyone was like, oh, okay, okay,
Yep.
well, let's do that. Man, where's this guest?
Oh, I said 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
they're working on their own time, considering they only emailed you like last night at that time.
yeah, email came at 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's like, oh hey, yeah, we'll show us.
Yeah, I think we still got 2 minutes here.
I think they think it's a real formal thing, so that they're showing up right on that time.
Oh yeah, probably. Come on, come on. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to promote them to, I'm going to make them a panelist, and then they'll be able to talk about what they want to talk about. So you two will be able to see it, and everyone's going to be able to see it. Um, guys, waiting for a guest like candle close. Yes, the candle closes in a minute and a half. So let me just remove all this garbage from the screen so everyone can see the guest properly.
Yeah, the guest isn't a trader, by the way, so you guys can just relax on that. That probably kicked off like 300 people off the live stream when I say that the guest isn't.
Oh, it's not a trader? Oh, okay, well, see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
No more signals.
Yeah.
All right, let's view one last chart. One last chart for the week. If GJ breaks this area, is it good to call long? Yes, call long and tell long you're on its way. That would make sense. All right, we got 30 seconds. The name starts with an L, and I'm constantly looking at L. There's nothing yet.
They're literally coming in right on time. But then, I mean, the industry that they're in, I mean, I don't think they work on a very rigid schedule.
Yeah, it could be it too.
Or the guests that they're bringing aren't cooperating.
That's true too. The friends they're bringing with them,
Yeah, their guests that they're bringing aren't cooperating.
they're like, Jesus, Richard, we're getting late today. Come on.
Yeah. They better show up. I'll be very, very angry. Like now I'm hyped for this, and now they're not coming. I'm like, this is not fun. But I think they will, because I mean they did respond to you.
Yeah, I even sent them 4 emails with requests and everything.
Did we put that in EST?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I made sure that was all done. Is it going to be educational or fun? Both.
Yeah. We're gonna learn a lot today.
Yes.
We're expanding our minds.
This is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, well, well. It has been 1 minute over time. Kervin is saying GG about to push. That is true. It does seem like it's going to continue pushing to 132, 100. But where's this guest, man? They haven't even...
Where is the guest? The guest is not punctual. But I really think that they're just having a tough time.
Yeah, I give them a benefit of a doubt.
It's like we're waiting for you. I guess maybe they don't think that that the meeting's not about them. They think the meeting is,
Oh, here we go. Hey, Liz is here. All right, so let me just bring Liz on the panelist here. Perfect.
The guest is here.
Hello. All right, so how do we do this? Will they turn on their video, or we have 2,200 people waiting? Oh,
There you go.
Hi, can everyone hear me and see me?
yes. Let me
Yes.
just bring this up here so everyone can see you. And let me just see how I can
There I am. Okay.
fix this.
Hi. Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Perfect. We have goats here and everything. We've been waiting patiently.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I am Liz, and I'm calling from Woodstock Farm Sanctuary. And we are a farm sanctuary located in High Falls, New York. We have about 400 farmed animal residents. And typically we rescue these animals from cases of abuse and neglect. And I'm sure you're tired of seeing my face already. So I'm going to turn the camera around. And right here, we have the leader of the herd. This is Ashton, the sheep. Say hi,
Ashton sheep.
Ashton. And here's Tony.
Ashton's buddy.
Ashton's tall and handsome. He got his name from Ashton Kutcher. As some inspo. And this is little Tony. Tony's actually a mother here. So happy early Mother's Day, Tony. Tony and her son, Sonny, were found running on a road in New Jersey last summer. They escaped a slaughterhouse, and we were able to take them in, and it was so wonderful to rescue them together.
Oh, wow,
So
they
maybe we
ran
can
away.
find his son. Yeah, they ran away. A lot of animals do. Farmed animals want to live, and they make a break for it a lot of times, but they don't always end up in sanctuary. This is Marin.
Hey, Marin.
Hey, Marion.
And you're going to be hearing a lot of buying because it's almost breakfast time. And even though they have hay here, they're waiting for the caregivers to come in and give them more hay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we like when sheep keeps going ba ba. Yes.
Yes. This is Marin's daughter, Dixie. Say hi, Dixie. She's a little camera shy.
Dixie's
Hey,
like,
Dixie.
uh-oh.
And if anybody has any questions at any point, feel free to chime in and ask.
I have a question. So where do you normally locate these animals? Like, where do you find? Do they normally run on the road and you just pick them up, or?
So that's a great question. I'm actually the marketing and communications manager, and normally when I'm not doing Zoom calls for people, I am managing a lot of our social platforms and emails correspondence. And often we get emails almost every day about an animal that needs a home, or there's a farm closing, or there's a case of neglect and abuse that we can look into. We don't normally go out and seek the animals. It's honestly, there's so many inquiries every day and every week that just come to us. So it comes from all different directions. Even just people who know what we do will DM us and send us information about animals and things like that. And we have to turn a lot of away, unfortunately, but we do the best we can to try to connect other sanctuaries to the rescues as well.
Wow, that's crazy. Never thought.
Angela.
Never thought of
Hi,
that.
Angela. So this is our sheep pasture. It's pretty big. We like to spoil our animals here. So we have about 150 acres on the property itself, but we only use about 60 because we're also trying to respect wildlife, and we're a big component in rewilding as well. So, and that's our goat and sheep barn. And I'm gonna walk us back and go over to the goats.
Oh, the goats. Yeah, we have Forex goats
Yes.
here too.
Oh yes.
All the Forex goats under one barn. Perfect.
And our resident llama, Dolly, is out free roaming right now. So she's not here, but maybe we can find her.
Oh,
Here's
perfect.
Ashton again. King of the herd. Bye, Ashton.
Someone asked how much land space do you guys have?
How much land do we have?
Yes.
150 acres.
Wow.
Yeah. But we only use about 60 to 65. But we own 150.
Is that privately owned or donated, or how did that come about?
It was purchased because our name is Woodstock Sanctuary, and we actually were located closer to Woodstock, New York originally. Oh wait, Dolly's in here. Here's Dolly. But then when we moved to High Falls, New York, we purchased this property that actually used to be like a Christian boys camp, and then before that was a spot for entertainment for New York City people to come and visit very long ago. Hi, Dolly.
I don't think the sheeps and the goats are practicing social distancing at this point.
You know what? They're not even aware of
Yeah.
the regulations. They don't care. They're rule breakers. Right, Estella? So Dolly is very popular. She's our only llama, and she likes it that way. And she has a tendency to spit. So if you get too much in her face, she might fire a spit rocket at me. But that's
Alright,
why
let's
I'm
see
on this
this.
side and you're on the other.
Let's see this. Oh, probably not today.
No, she seems okay right now. She's been used to these chats, so she's becoming more of a star in her own right. And let's go find some more goats. Let's see who's out here.
Yeah, just to let you know, you have about 2,000 people watching you right now.
Oh, no pressure, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the background here is we actually trade currency in the mornings during during the stock market, like the markets.
Oh, wow.
So what we do is this is something special for us. We decided that's why we did a donation for you guys. And it's Friday morning, so a lot of the stuff is done that we normally do. So this was more of just a relaxation, different change of pace for what we normally do here. So we really appreciate you coming on, and we posted the link of your farm in our YouTube channel so that people can make donations. And,
thank you
help
so
out
much.
as well. Yeah, no problem.
That's so wonderful. We appreciate anything right now, especially being close to the public during the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
We're normally open for tours April through October of every year, but we had to close for obvious reasons. And any donation like these meetings are just so helpful. We always appreciate it. And we also just love connecting people to our residents because they're just so sweet. And we love to make people smile. So we're appreciative of all of it. This is Fern. Hi, Fern. Fern's really sweet. And every time there's a new rescue, this is our older goat herd. So an older goat herd is consisting of goats maybe 5 years and up, just because they're a little gentler and not as rowdy. And every time we rescue an older goat, Fern is one of the first goats to go up to them and introduce herself and just kind of welcome them. So she's really sweet. And this is Clover. I laugh because Clover is very small, but she has a very big personality. So if you were here right now, she'd walk right up to you and demand a snack. Right, Clover? Oh, and here's her friend Daniel.
Oh. Daniel is nice and big over there.
Yeah, so you can see the size difference actually between Clover and Daniel. Right, Clover girl? Yeah, she wants some scratchies. When you are around Clover, you have to give her butt scratches. It's just part of the trade.
So,
oh my gosh.
are these the screaming goats?
Oh yeah, no, we don't have any. They're technically fainting goats. We don't have any of those. But I know what you mean. But they do have a loud voice if they are in the mood to talk.
Yeah.
And this is Buddy. So what I was talking about earlier with older goats being welcomed into the herd, he's 11 and he actually came up here last summer from North Carolina. His human friend died. He was not in a bad situation, but unfortunately his human companion passed away and he had nowhere to go. And people reached out to us, and our executive director really has a soft spot for boar goats, which is what Buddy is. So he actually traveled all the way up from North Carolina to New York to live with us. And when he got here, he's really shy. He's kind of like Eeyore. He has a really gentle presence, and he wasn't making friends right away. And Fern was one of the first goats to be his friend. So,
well, I can see he's
right,
pretty
Buddy?
happy. He's got a nice little sweater on.
Yes, his little goat coat.
Goat coat.
Yes, and he likes to lead the way sometimes. So if you give him a couple scratchies and we say, "Let's go for a walk," he will lead the way, or you'll just become his scratcher. So, and we also have what I love about the goat pastures. We have these playpens. Our shelter team is really about engagement and quality of life. So we have these things set up all over the pasture, like jungle gyms. They're also fun to run up and down when you're a human. So if you need a few minutes to burn some energy off, you can just run up and down and jump around. But the goats love them. And they have these like big thimbles they can hop on. So it's really fun. And that's Kellen, who we're going to go meet. Kellen was actually in the hospital for 4 months last year. Oh, maybe he doesn't want to be on camera. We kind of let them do what they please. Bye, Kellen. Do you want to be on camera? Say hi. Kellen nearly died last year. And we were very, very worried that he wouldn't make it back from the hospital. But he spent all those months there. And it was nearly $20,000 for the issues he was facing because he has a virus that is incurable. And he also had a very bad infection. But we rallied, we fundraised, and we were able to give him the proper care. He's like, yeah, let's go. Talk about me. And he's been better than ever since he's been back. Here's Clover and Fern again, all leading the way.
Oh, so all this is done through the tours you guys do and all like the donations you guys receive, like all the care for the animals and everything.
Yeah, so we're 100% donor funded.
Oh, wow.
And we truly mean that when we say that. So every donation counts, and we get grants, we have things like that come through. And we actually had our inn that's on site. We built an inn last year called the Gray Barn, where you can normally stay. So I highly recommend it if you're coming to upstate New York, stay with us because it's a beautiful inn. But that was actually donated by a foundation as an extra sustainable source of income for the animals. So we didn't pay for that. Kind of like how we were talking earlier about how we bought this property. We didn't buy the inn to be built. It was donated as an extra stream of revenue because it's so important that we have sustainable income for the animals.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good place for the kids too. Like, if you have kids, come here,
Yes.
see all the goats.
Yes. It's really great to introduce kids to an environment that is proactive in positive animal care, and just it's a very beautiful place to come visit anyway, and it's super fun, but they're not going to see anything negative here. There's no poor living conditions. It's just a super great environment to introduce farmed animals to kids in. Right, Fern? I love Kellen's ears. They're so beautiful. So yeah, this is kind of what the animals do here on a daily basis. Is they just graze. They have all this property to themselves. They get to do as they please. And it's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, you guys have a pretty big property here. There's some questions. One question
Oh,
was
sure.
like, it was like, w- uh, like, so, do you guys have like, what's like the staff employed per animal, or is there like a regulation for that, or something like per animal you need like number of people to take care of them, or something like that?
That's a good question. There's not regulations per person for animal care, but there are some regulations for proper pasture distance. So, like for our cows, you need a certain amount of acres per cow. And that's why we can't rescue a bunch of cows, because we only have a certain amount of acres. But we have a shelter team of, I think it's 10 caregivers and our shelter director. And they take care of the 400 animals.
Oh
So
wow.
they're very busy, because it's harder than one might think to find the proper fit for an animal caregiver here, because it's a lot of work. You also, to work here, you either have to respect a vegan lifestyle or be vegan when you're on site.
Yeah.
And because it's just, part of our mission. And it's a certain kind. I mean, some of these animals are very big. For example, I'm 5 foot, and I couldn't wrangle a cow if they were mad at me while I was giving them a shot in the butt. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm the marketing person and I'm not a caregiver.
Yeah, just staying
So
far, far away from those duties.
so it requires a special kind of person, and our shelter director does a great job of finding the right team and having them work together well too. So while there's not a lot of them, they work really hard and they care about each animal, and you could ask them about any resident here and they would know their personality, everything about them. So it's a very special job.
Yeah. We had another question. What's like
Sure.
the hardest part of the job here?
So I would say, on behalf of the entire team, the hardest part is when we lose a resident, because obviously we've all grown close with them and we've gotten to know them, and we've seen them for the most part come from bad situations and really overcome challenges. So when we've bonded with them and we have to say goodbye, that's definitely the hardest part. And another thing a lot of people don't realize with farmed animal rescue is that these animals aren't coming from great conditions, so they don't arrive in the most healthy state. So a lot of times their life isn't that long, but we try to give them the best quality of life we can while they're here with us. So our caregiving team, we all see a lot of loss, but so yeah, I would say that's probably the hardest part. Like last year, actually this past year alone, we've lost 3 of our senior cows who were all about 17 and 18 years old.
Oh wow.
So they've been with us since they were babies too. So that's a long life. And it was really beautiful that they got that long life, because male cows are usually killed within like 2 weeks of being alive normally, or 6 months for meat. So the fact that they got to live 17, almost 20 years is great, but what a blow when that happens. The staff is in mourning. We do go through a mourning period. It's hard.
Yeah, no, that's great. Some people here are asking the best place to donate is going to be to the website.
Yes. So thanks for asking that. That's really kind. You can go to woodstocksanctuary.org /donate, and it'll take you right to a donation page that you can donate directly on. But we also have PayPal and we have Venmo. So whatever way people prefer, but the website's going to be your best bet to also see animal pictures and learn more about us and different ways to donate, or if you want to sponsor a resident like Clover or something. you're more
Yeah,
than welcome to do that.
yeah, no, it's good because before we were really exposed to all this, I think most people didn't even know something like this existed. Because like we only hear about, like, we have like shelters or like like small places like for pets and stuff, but like a
Right.
completely funded place like this, I never even thought would exist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually common. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of animal sanctuaries exist, and there's going to be more and more in the next few years because we're seeing a lot of people start them, which is actually really hard to do. But they're kind of still a new concept to a lot of people.
Someone asked, no, I don't think they have crocodiles in the sanctuary. I don't think.
Oh,
I don't
not
think
at
that'll be
our
a good fit.
sanctuary,
Yeah.
but possibly one in Florida for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I
in
don't know what
Florida.
we would do with a crocodile, but. And I did see some comments coming in. Sorry, I'm not catching them, but we do have merchandise with animals on them. So if I saw somebody comment about a goat T-shirt, we have a store called sanctuarystore.org where each purchase of merchandise, like fun shirts and tote bags, they go directly to the animals too. So it's kind of like a donation if you want some cute swag with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys will get in like a lot of notifications here after we're done.
That's great.
Yeah,
This
we
is
have a lot
Sam.
of. Oh, hey Sam.
Sam actually lost his best friend Seth this year, who was another goat. They would sleep on each other every night. So Seth had cancer. But one thing that our shelter director, Hervé, always says that he admires about the animals is that they just know how to continue on. Like they get sad and they definitely show emotions like that and they mourn, but they also just kind of wake up the next day, get up, make their little goat bed and take on the day. You know what I mean? So they're really inspiring.
Yeah, I think at the same time we can learn a lot from the animals too. Like they know thing is done. It's just time to move on with life.
Yes, and they have when an animal passes here, for example, when one of our senior cows passed away, they open up all the barn gates and let all the cows come in and acknowledge that the animal has passed, and they spend the night with their cow friend that passed away before they leave the barn. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice. Let's see if we
Yeah.
have another question here.
Sure.
Oh, so I guess the most exotic animal you guys would have would be llama. I forgot the name.
Dolly.
Dolly.
So I would say Dolly is the most exotic. She would say she's the most exotic. And eccentric and beautiful. But then we also have, they're not technically exotic, but we have guinea hens. And I don't know if anyone knows what those are, but they're really beautiful. I highly suggest Google imaging them, but they are very loud, squawky little dinosaur birds. And I find them pretty exotic. I had never seen one before I worked here. So.
Are they here nearby somewhere?
I can hear them in the distance, but they're pretty far away.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
that's how loud they are. Like they could be on the other side of the property, and I can hear them right now. But they're probably over by the cows. But they're pretty wild because we let them free roam here. So.
Yeah. Someone's saying that it's amazing that you get better service in the middle of nowhere than they do in the city.
You would be surprised. You're lucky because the weather report for here said today that it was going to be rainy. And sometimes when it's rainy, Clover wants me to stay. Oh, I forgot to scratch Clover. Telling you guys, this is, here they all come. Come on, everybody. We're going back.
All the goats are following. Let's go. Wow, seems like they have really strong personalities.
They do.
I can see that.
They do. Come on, everybody. I'm coming, Clover. I'm coming.
Someone asked how many different types of animals you guys have.
So we have ducks, chickens, pigs, guinea hens, goats, sheep, cows, and a llama. So those are the farmed animal species that we have here at our sanctuary.
Okay, and someone also asked, do you guys use dogs to work with the sheep? So I'm not too sure what that means.
Like herding.
Actually, no. There is a sanctuary in South Jersey called Rancho Relaxo, who we work with, and she has a couple of really, really big dogs that are super kind and friendly, and they run around and play with the sheep. But we don't have that concept here.
This might be a little forward question. I'm not sure if you'd
Don't
want to
even worry
answer.
about it.
Okay, so this question was, what's like the average cost to sustain like a sanctuary per month?
It depends on the size of the sanctuary, but that's a good question for our development director. But I can say that, for example, by closing in May for tours, we're already losing about $15,000 just by not, that's the revenue we count on just for tours. So I would say it's more than that to sustain the sanctuary every month for sure, but 15,000 alone just for extra sustainability with food, medical supplies, things like that. Here's Clover again. It's the Clover show. So that's a good question though.
Yeah.
It's expensive, I can say that.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be easy. Oh, nice. Now they're all loud. This is what we like now.
Yes. I'm just gonna pop in before we go to say hello to the sheep one more time, since they're in.
Oh.
That's Gray. Hi, Gray.
Oh, Gray has nice little patches on him. It's pretty cool.
He does. He does. He's a beautiful sheep. He's a Jacob sheep. And if you actually Google them, they can grow up to like 8 horns, but he only seems to have 2. So
8 horns. Wow.
yeah, it's a pretty wild breed. So does anyone have any questions before we say goodbye?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think they shave animals at all at any point. Do you guys? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
What do you mean?
Like shear them.
sh-
Shave the sheeps and I guess maintain them.
Oh, shave them. Yes, actually, we do. They're going to be getting their hair cut for the summer next week because they've been bred to not be able to shed themselves. So all of this fluff obviously has to go somewhere because they won't make it in the heat and the hot weather
Yeah,
here. So
that's
we have
true.
a professional come in and give them a nice haircut for the summer months. George really wants a lot of love right now.
Well, this was very enlightening, I can say that.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. I mean, like I said, it was something that we wanted to do. We donate to a lot of charity organizations, and this was more interactive, so we just figured it would be fun.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time for us. We were concerned that it was a little too early too. I don't know if you to get
Oh
up that
no,
early.
it's fine. This is fine, right, George? He's like, it's fine. No, we really appreciate it. It's been so nice spending this morning with you. And I hope you guys go to woodstocksanctuary.org. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's just Woodstock Sanctuary, and there's lots of cute content there. So if you want to stay connected that way, that's the best way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Say
take
bye,
care.
George. Bye.
Bye, George. Take care. All right, everybody. That was it for today. Hope everyone had a fun time today.
Best NFP
We
yet.
Yes, best NFP in a long while. All right, so I'm gonna call it a day and take care, everyone. Have fun. Have a safe weekend. So actually, let's take a look at this over here. Let's see this.
YouTube chat went crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they weren't expecting this at all.
No.
Wasn't expecting.
Yeah, so this is the Woodstock Sanctuary here.
Yeah, put that on the
this-
recorder.
There you go. Membership saves lives. That's pretty true. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and for people that were sort of worried about why we did or what we did, it was really random. People need to just calm down. Like we donate to all different organizations. This was just something for fun. There was no rationale behind it. It was like, hey, they'll put animals on in a meeting for us, and we have meetings every morning. So that's why we decided to do this. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. I still eat steak. I'll still eat cow. Like, I'm not worried about that. It's just, it was something nice to do, a change of pace. Like, people just need to calm down. They get so angry about everything. Oh, save the children in Africa. Yeah, we can save. We're saving everybody. Don't worry. Like, just,
Yeah, one thing at a time.
yeah. And it was after NFP, so we knew nothing was really going to happen in the market. So it just made
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Nothing happened at all.
But please don't bring negatives into positives. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it was just a good thing. There was no hidden meaning behind it. It was just for fun. I mean, it's just, don't try and bring everything down. Like, you don't have to do that. Like,
Even if we, even by doing that, even if out of all the negative, even if she got one donation, that's still a lot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You're still
and
bringing attention.
that's
So
exactly it. And
yeah.
don't feel obligated. You have to donate. You could hate that cause altogether. We made the donation on behalf of everybody, so it's all good. It's just enjoy. It was for fun. We work so hard all year round. To see animals for 15 minutes isn't going to kill you. People need to calm down.
Man, their tours are like $10.
Yeah.
They're not expensive at all. $10, $5. I mean, wow.
Cheaper than the zoo.
Yeah, and the fact that it's all run by donations, it just blew my mind. The entire thing ran by donations. Wow, it's just crazy. Ooh, let's see what they got on the Amazon wish list. Oh,
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it's interesting to see how other people do things, right? I think as
yeah.
traders too, we're sheltered somewhat. We're not outside. We're not doing anything. Those people, like, you figure she's up early trying to do all that work, right? So,
Yeah, our work is we come to the computers, and their work is that's totally different.
yeah.
All right, I guess call it a day here.
Enjoy.
Yeah, perfect. Take care, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.